Buckle up, baby! 2020 is in full swing and we are ready for it. It's Monday, January 13th, the day my beautiful mother was born. Happy birthday, Sandy Beck. It's also the day episode 31 of Travel Disasters was born, and I'm so glad you're here to witness this miracle. Last week was filled with shows, so thank you everyone who booked me. Hamburger Mary's, Chicago Underground Comedy, Backroom Comedy, at a live one in Lincoln Park. They were such fun shows, and thank you to everyone who came out. This week is pretty quiet, but you can catch me hosting my weekly open mic at Tapster in Wicker Park at 7 p.m. Sign up at 6:45 if you want to come out. I would love to see you there. January is the time of year we are reevaluating our goals, our diets, our sobriety. I tried sober January and it lasted 11 days, and then I hurled myself off the wagon. So I'm feeling amazing today, and everyone is looking to try something new. So if you have friends who want to get into podcasts in 2020, tell them about this show. It's a great way to spread the word and tell everybody who has a horrible travel story that can relate to this podcast. So thank you to everybody who has already subscribed. But if it's your first time listening to this episode, subscribe wherever you're listening. If you have an iPhone, take 2 minutes out of your day, open up that purple podcast app, search for Travel Disasters, hit subscribe, hit 5 stars, and then leave a written review. This week's review comes from Liz Zagoni, whose episode will release in a couple of weeks, but she said, "Awesome podcast. Mary Kate is an incredible host. As a listener, it was hilarious. As a guest, it was very cathartic. Highly recommend. Tell all your friends." Oh, thank you so much, Liz. And she's right. Tell your friends. Everybody needs to listen to this. And if you have a travel disaster of your own, send it to traveldisasterspodcast@gmail.com. I want to hear it all. I want to hear about the woman on the airplane talking loudly on her cell phone until takeoff. I want to hear about your creepy Uber drivers who have worm farms, your daily commute to work. Give me all the stories. I can't wait to read them on the air. Also, follow us on social media so you can see pictures of all of our guests, hear clips from other episodes, and learn a little bit more about me, MKB, your host. I'm so ready for today's guest. She is a podcaster, a comedian, a producer, a musician, environmentalist, transcendental, meditating woman. She's amazing. She's literally everything that I aspire to be. Lucia Whalen is sitting across from me today. Lucia takes us to Jamaica when she's 7 years old. So adorable. And you'd think it'd be the time of her life, but it's kind of not. She has sunburn on her face, gorgeous cornrows in her hair, virgin daiquiris in hand, and she's a little homesick. But find out what goes wrong on Lucia's little trip and see how Jamaica is actually a total bust. So, leg out! It's you and me, baby. We're going on the trip from hell, where every flight is missed. They lose your luggage, and you're in the middle seat between a sumo wrestler and a screaming baby. Don't worry, I'm coming along for the ride. I'm Mary Kate Beck, and this is Travel Disasters. What'd you think?
Wow, that was a spiritual experience.
I feel like it just really loops you. Like my arms are open. And I'm like, come on,
I felt
baby.
like I was on a Food Network show.
Yeah.
With Alton Brown and guys here.
When people stop being nice, start baking cupcakes. It really paints the picture for the show. Really brings you in.
I think it was beautiful.
Thank you so much. You know what? You're beautiful, Lucia Whalen. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I've been really stress eating a lot because I'm in finals for school right now.
Ooh.
So I'm glad to be out of the house.
Yes.
And burning some calories on this podcast.
What's your guilty pleasure stress eating food?
Well, peanut butter. I could down a whole, yeah. I'm like a healthy stress eater though.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
Just large quantities. I know.
Mine's like Velveeta Easy Mac.
Okay.
Because if you're gonna do Easy Mac, you might as well get like the
Velveeta.
cheesy, yeah. Mm-hmm. Or like flavor blasted goldfish.
Yeah, it's weird, but I'll eat like 4 sweet potatoes in a row.
Oh my god, that's not what. That is so annoying.
It's a lot of starch.
Yeah, come on now. That's too much. Get out of here. I ate 4 sweet potatoes. That's like something I would fucking say. It's like people are like, what's your guilty pleasure? And I'm like, boiled chicken. Like, no.
Just pounds of kale. I binge salads.
Yes. Too much walnuts on my salad. That's so funny. Are you done? Is this your last year? Or how much time do you have left?
Yeah, I'm almost done. It's just a 1-year program. So
nice.
I'm going to be in and out.
Congratulations. Molding your brain.
Thank you.
Proud of you. What are you studying?
Journalism.
Oh, yes.
Environmental
I feel like
journalism.
we talked about this.
The world's ending. Not sure if you guys heard about it.
It is terrifying, yes.
Airplane travel is actually one of the leading causes of
airplane travel?
Yeah.
I don't doubt that at all because
flights emit so many emissions.
But I was thinking it was like the trash on flights.
I mean, that too. It's everything about traveling is bad.
Yes. And I keep track of like all the garbage that I create when I'm traveling. And I say no to like the snacks and the drinks on the plane, and I have my water bottle, but all of it's bad.
I've actually found that if I don't eat, it's like a double whammy, because if I fast during flights, I don't get jet lag, or I barely get it at all. Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I've found it from like a lot of YouTube influencers, I'm sorry to say.
No.
But, and then I tried it and it really works. I used to get debilitating jet lag to the point where I was like, I don't want to travel anymore.
It fucks with your energy level?
I think
like if you eat, it gives you energy and then it keeps you up.
They say it has something to do with your circadian rhythm. So like but when you get off the flight, then you should just wait to have whatever next meal would be in that time zone. And then it like gets your body
to like
going.
regulate yourself?
Yeah.
Wow. So you get off the plane, you're like, what time is it? Is it breakfast or lunch? Or like,
and I always get really gassy on planes if I eat. So like it just saves your digestive system.
Yeah.
That's my little word of wisdom.
Meals are not.
Oh, they're truly disgusting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I've known like I can count people on probably 2 hands that have gotten food poisoning from airplane food. Yep. It's not good for you. I always pass on the hot meals that they serve.
On the hot.
They're like, would you like beef stroganoff? I'm like, I'll pass.
Yeah, they're like, would you like chicken drenched in ranch dressing fettuccine sauce?
Yeah. Like it's a gravy tartare
that we microwaved on this plane for you.
I'm like, I'm all set. Thank you so much. I'll stick to my granola bar. Like, ew. Yeah. Word of the wise, do not eat the fucking food. But now you're like not supposed to at all. I love this jet lag like hack.
Just tons of like tea and water, and if it's like really long, I'll bring a little bit of fruit.
Oh, nice.
Then that won't bother because that's really easy to digest.
Yes.
But yeah, it is a little painful, but if you just watch movies, time passes.
I
it's
just
worth
take a little sleeping pill.
Yeah.
Or that's probably bad for jet lag too. Damn it. I don't know. I don't know the solution. Whatever. But how are you? You said you traveled a lot this year. So let's do the scale. The scale. So on the travel scale of...
I had a dream last night that I stepped on a scale and I weighed 1,200 pounds.
You're a 1,200 pound. Okay, that's great. So on a scale of 1,200 pound woman who can never leave her house again, which will never happen to you unless you keep binging on sweet potatoes, you nerd. Okay, so 1,200 pound woman who can't leave the house to like the Wright brothers who invented flight. They just couldn't. You can't fence them in.
Yes.
Where do you fall on the travel scale?
Is this a 10-point scale?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always 1 to 10. People are like, so I'm a 7. I'm like, that's not what I asked.
You know what? I'll say this year, I'm at like a 7.
Yeah.
I'm a 7 or an 8.
That's wow.
It really changed for me. I didn't consider myself to be a good traveler, and then comedy changed it because I started traveling a lot more, and I went on
road trips.
So far, I've done 3 international flights this year.
Oh my goodness, where?
Well, I guess it sort of counts as this year, but last Christmas I went to London.
That counts. It's within the last 12 months. Yeah.
Like Christmas time I went to London and because I have family there.
Nice.
And I have like an aunt who's sort of like my fairy godmother, and she like brings me places when they're traveling. And then I quit my job and I went to India.
Yes, I remember that.
I'm a white woman.
Hell yes.
And I had to go.
It's your eat, pray, love, baby.
I had to go and then tell everyone about it.
India was calling and I had to go.
And then I went to Germany for school/work and was like doing reporting.
You were there for a couple weeks, right?
I was there for 10 days. And then I did a bunch of domestic trips like for comedy and stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
I went to Denver and stuff like that. So this year's been very travel-y, actually.
I'm proud of you.
Really hard on my digestive system.
Oh. If we learned anything today, it's that Lucia has a weak bowel.
I
She can't deal with food when you travel. That's so great. So, like, India, I feel like you were in India for a couple weeks, no?
I was in India for like 12 to 14 days.
Oh, wow.
That was my first time really traveling.
And you were alone?
I was alone.
Yeah.
And it was a very impulsive trip, and it was sort of last minute, and it was my first time like fully traveling internationally alone.
Oh my gosh.
But it actually went really well. And I knew some people there, so I felt okay, but it was wild. It was definitely like, oh, I'm alone in this.
Do you know what this makes me think of? Have you ever seen Knocked Up, where the husband and wife are fighting and she's like, you know what? You want to go to India? Just go to India. And like loses her shit. And like she says go to India like 40 times. And you're like, it was an impulsive trip, so like just go to India, Lucia. But like that's so fun. Did you do anything while you were out there? Did you visit mosques?
Oh no,
I don't know. Or what am I thinking of? The like spiritual places,
ashrams. I did. That's where I stayed. I did.
Oh, cool.
Because I have a meditation teacher who like has an ashram there, so I went and
it's the coolest thing you've ever said.
I know. I did. I mean, it's truly eat, pray, love, so embarrassing. I'm just falling into the stereotype everyone thinks I am. But
it's great.
But yeah, I went and I did basically like a meditation retreat / like Ayurvedic. I stayed at an Ayurvedic hospital and got all these like treatments and massages because I have a really oversharing here. I have a reproductive disorder, and like Ayurveda is one of the best natural medicines.
Oh, that's
for
awesome!
It. So, yeah, it was cool, but it was just beautiful. And I turned my phone off for 12 days.
Holy
and
shit!
Yeah, it was a lot of journaling and like a lot of processing of,
just the
life.
inside. Yeah, you're like, oh my god. Who am I?
Yeah.
Well, you went there to find yourself,
yeah.
And I'm so glad.
Thank you. I found myself.
I'm complete. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm actually fully enlightened. Heard of it?
Have you heard of enlightenment? Have you? Oh my god.
But that's actually that trip, I think, like brought me full circle to full enlightenment as a traveler, because
there you go.
I used to think that I was the worst traveler because I was, and that trip proved to me like, oh no, I can do this.
When you're by yourself, you're forced to get it together.
Yeah.
You don't have
100%.
someone to be like, wait, which terminal is it? Like if I'm by myself, I can figure it out, but if I'm with someone, I second guess everything. Yeah. And I'm just a total dork the whole time. But that's awesome. So does your travel disaster take place in India? Like where does your disaster take place?
Okay, so it needs a little backstory for this. So my mom, when I was around the age of 7, she joined a pyramid scheme and divorced my dad.
Oh my God! Mrs. Whalen, yes! Oh my god.
And
that's fucking great. Was she selling makeup?
No, she hadn't divorced my dad yet. She was selling Herbalife products. My mom
she was like one of the first Herbalife, probably.
Yeah.
What year is this?
So this is around 9/11. So this is right before 9/11.
You're like, it was the worst year of my life.
It was the summer before 9/11.
Oh my god.
We went.
It was pre 9/11
Sounds
disaster.
like a Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
So my mom, so there's this girl at my grade school in first grade, and her mom sold Herbalife products. So she got my mom selling Herbalife products. This was right before she divorced my dad, but we all definitely think it had something to do with her deciding to divorce him. Yeah, because it's like a pyramid scheme where they're like, change your life. They're like, if people won't change them.
Oh my god.
And so there was like this big conference in Jamaica. And so she went, and my friend's mom went, and then my friend's whole family went. So we were like all going to Jamaica.
Yeah, that sounds incredible.
And it was like my this little trip I was taking with my mom.
Did she win it from Herbalife?
She didn't win it. She definitely paid for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She definitely was part of the pyramid scheme.
Yeah, they're like, you can win a trip to Jamaica.
Oh no, it was for sure more investment.
Oh, good.
And so yeah, we were staying like at the Ritz-Carlton of Jamaica in Montego Bay, very fancy. And so it started out very sweet, you know. The only good part I think I remember was the flight and arriving there.
Oh God.
And then we get to the Ritz-Carlton, truly just my life of luxury. Yeah. I recognize my privilege in this story. I'm like, my trip to Jamaica actually wasn't great, but it was bad. Okay, so we get to the Ritz-Carlton. I'm 7 years old. And
you can't even appreciate the Ritz yet.
I know. It's like, why take your kids?
No,
don't.
I would stay at like the Hyatt before.
Don't take your kids anywhere until they're at least like 14.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember. Well, I remember only the trauma of this trip. So first mistake is my mom and my friend's family. They take us to get our hair cornrowed.
Yes. Oh my God.
If you're white,
stereotypical.
If you're white, you gotta get cornrows in Jamaica.
And your scalp gets all sunburned.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was this little fat kid with cornrows.
Oh my God. You need to send a picture of that for this.
I have some for you.
Amazing.
On my phone. And
right now.
and so like it was my first time really traveling outside. It was like outside the United States, and I was there with my mom, but my mom was like at this conference the whole time. Mm-hmm. So first of all, the Ritz-Carlton is haunted, and they like flaunt that.
Really?
Yeah. And so that was like one of the first facts I learned, and my mom got me like a book about it. So it was like great.
Oh my God.
It was like great, loving the vibes, loving the energy here that I'm sensing. Yeah. And then I just started like right when we got there, maybe first 2 days were okay, but I started getting really, really, really bad homesickness. And I wasn't really with my mom at all because she was at these weird pyramid scheme meetings where she was planning to divorce my dad. And I was just,
oh my God. What is your mother's first name? I need this
Susanna.
Picture. Oh,
it's actually been Susan her whole life, and she's going through a midlife crisis and changed it to Susanna.
Yes. Oh my God, this makes it even better.
So I was basically like with my friend's family the whole time, which like I always like loved their family and loved hanging out with them. They were like the sisters that I never had.
For sure.
But I just started getting more and more homesick, and I would like sleep over in their room because my mom would be out at whatever meet and greets. And I remember like I couldn't sleep. So basically the whole trip I couldn't sleep because I have really bad insomnia. And it started when I was a kid.
Fuck.
And this place is haunted, so there's a demon possessed.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not fucking sleeping here at all. Even if I could, I wouldn't sleep here.
Right, I hated it. And I would go into the bathroom because they had like a bathroom phone. And I would call my dad and he wouldn't pick up.
No, Lucia.
So I'm this like
oh my God.
miserable 7-year-old, just like so sad. And I just remember like everything was bad. Like it was fun sort of like being with my friends sometimes, but they had their whole family unit there. And so for them, it was like this like secure situation.
Like
for me.
Yeah,
for me, I was like this orphan.
Yes.
I remember even like going, like we were all like going into the ocean together, and we would go into the ocean. I remember I went in and it stung my crotch. I was like, I can't even enjoy the ocean. What? I don't know. It was like so weird.
Species stung your crotch?
It was just the water. I don't know. It was so salty. So I just like.
On your pure vagine, it just couldn't take it. You poor thing. I'm like, oh my God, a jellyfish? You're like, no, the pure salt water.
Just literally, just the pure ocean. And so then I was like, okay, I can't enjoy the ocean. I'll just watch my friends gallivanting, and they're on the rocks. And then, so the like pinnacle of the disaster in this trip was. It was towards the end of the trip, and I was just not having it.
Yeah.
And it was so psychosomatic at this point where I did feel sick. Who knows if I actually felt sick? I think I was just faking it. I was like, I don't want to go outside.
You convince
today.
yourself you're sick? Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I'm sick. I'm just going to watch TV in here. And then my friend's family, because their dad was basically watching all of us.
Yeah.
And he was like, you just come out to the pool. You can just come out and lay by the pool.
That's nice.
And so while my friend and her sister were playing in the pool, her dad was just bringing me tens of thousands of virgin strawberry daiquiris. Which I was
like, I might get diabetes. But like, kids don't know. You're like, this is fucking delicious.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is the most delicious thing I've ever done.
Yes.
So I was like, I'll have another one. Just like pre-alcoholism.
Yes.
I was like,
just like sugar is my vice now.
Yeah, and so I was like feeling better, and later that night we had we had an outing scheduled to go to a submarine.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, and it's everyone's so excited.
Yeah, that sounds
everyone
dope.
is. Yeah, it's like.
Was it like submerged?
Like we were gonna go underwater. Everyone
dude.
is so excited. This is like gonna be the part of the trip. So that night we're like going to the submarine. We're literally outside the submarine, on like the bay, and I just throw up into the water. There's just this like patch of pink fluid like floating down the bay, and it's all the strawberry daiquiri that I had.
And then were they like, "You're not going on this"?
Well,
submarine?
then no one went in. They're like, "Okay, I guess Lucia's like violently ill."
Ruined it for everyone.
Yeah, my friend hated me. Everyone hated me.
Oh my god! No.
And and then that was pretty much the end of the trip. My friend. I really think I was possessed by a demon, and I'm not kidding.
That's
because
valid.
my friend has this story. We ended up being like best friends later, and like in high school, and she has this story. She said, so we had got like all like my family and her family all went out for dinner to this really fancy seafood restaurant one night, and she said that at one point of the dinner.
You can't even get it out. I'm picturing you just like levitating from the table. She's like being possessed.
She said at one point of the dinner, I just stood up and started like buttering the tablecloth. and they were like, Lucia, what are you doing? And I was like, buttering the tablecloth.
Duh.
And I just kept doing it like a psychopath.
With lifeless eyes.
Like, truly, I have no memory of it.
Wow.
Yeah, so overall, it was just a really bad trip, just very traumatic. The whole memory of it for me is just, like, so stressful and, like, so homesick.
Yeah.
And, and then it's such a bummer because I was like, I didn't get to enjoy Montego Bay, Jamaica. I've looked at pictures
How
from
much were you really going to enjoy it, though? And
kids don't have memories.
7.
Yeah.
So, like, your only comfort zone is home and you've been plucked from it.
Yeah.
And your mom's like, "Okay, see ya. I'm gonna go build my network for Herbalife." And like,
I'm gonna learn how to more effectively sell these soy-based protein powders that in a few years there will be a major lawsuit against where
see ya, honey. Enjoy the pool. Yeah. Like that just, I mean, your mother had great intentions.
Yeah.
I respect
It was supposed
the
to be
hustle.
It was supposed to be a fun mother-daughter of outing, and it was horrible.
Yeah,
it was absolutely horrible.
It was actually the worst trip of my life.
And my mom says that I used to always get really, and even like when I was older, like I'd still get really homesick.
I would get homesick in college. I got homesick like as a teenager. I would go to like my friends' like cabins during the summer, and it's an hour away, and I like forced one of their aunts to like drive me home. So I was like, I can't be here anymore. Because it's like another thing too when you're traveling with other families and you like see everybody in their families, you're like, I have a family, and like I would just get super
because you can sense that they don't love you in the way your family loves you. You're like, oh, you don't love me unconditionally, but you love your daughter unconditionally, and I'm just seeing
you can like feel that totally.
Oh, 100%. Yes. Yeah, I used to get really bad homesickness. I don't really anymore. I think I'm like so aware of it that I get like I've trained
sick
myself
of being home.
I get sick of being home, and I get sick of like I get to the point of traveling now where I'm like I'm ready to go back. Yeah. But not necessarily like that gripping pain of like, oh, my trip's ruined because I'm so sad because I just want to be home.
Yeah, totally. But like, when I go home for like holidays, like if I'm there for more than, I think I just need to set boundaries and like only be there for 2 days or 3 days because I get so squirrely around them and like lose my marbles. Yeah. So, but like, I get what you're saying where like if I travel enough and I'm like away from like my apartment with all of my things and I'm like, let's go. I need to be home.
Well, it's hard getting, I've realized that I am more of a homebody than I thought, and I'm more of a creature of habit than I thought. So I've realized when I travel, if I make sure, I meditate every day. So if I meditate, it really helps me like not be stressed.
Totally.
And also if I exercise, that helps me at least stay in a rhythm.
It's so hard to do that.
It is.
Bless you.
I try to. Well, lately, a lot of the trips I've been on are ones like where I'm near a gym or something,
Oh,
or I
that's
can
good.
bring a yoga mat. But
Yeah.
I found that helpful. But the other thing is, and it's not as bad anymore, but it's still not great, is I've had insomnia my whole life.
Yeah, God.
So especially like traveling with other
totally
people's families.
Ugh.
Yeah, like my best friend growing up is one of those people who I traveled with her a lot, and she can pass out anywhere.
Wow.
And I can't. Like, I would sleep over just at her house when we were kids, and I'd literally be up just like staring at her.
Oh no!
When
She wakes
will
up.
this
She's like,
end?
"What are you doing?"
Yeah, just like reading her Dr. Seuss books.
Yeah.
Like, I hope this I just end my life.
Oh my God.
And she's
I hope
just
this
like,
just puts me to sleep forever.
right.
Oh
Yeah,
my
and
God.
she's just sleeping peacefully. So I'm better with that too now. Like, I can train myself to sleep.
Yeah.
But,
Do you have any trips like coming up, or what's next for Lucia?
I'm going to New York next week
Hell
to
yeah.
do shows.
Hell yeah. Oh
a
my
little
God.
plug too. And then in February, I'm going to Washington State to do reporting for my program.
Oh my God. This sounds like your dream.
I know.
Look at you living your best
I
life.
know. Well, that's another nightmare trip, which I won't go into. But my first year of college, I went to Olympia, Washington for school.
Oh my God.
And I had never lived that far away. It's
Yeah.
truly the other end of the country.
Truly is.
And
like very, isn't it just
There's no sun.
Yeah, it's nothing.
There's no sun. And I was like in the woods, like at this hippie school, and I started having dreams that the sun was radiating on me.
Oh my
And I was
God.
more depressed than I've ever been.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I got it. The first tattoo I ever got was the sun on my back, and it was just because I was
Just
literally
wanna feel
dreaming.
warmth,
I
yeah.
know, yeah. So yeah,
That's so funny. So you're going back to Washington,
going
back
back
to
to
your
Washington.
stomping
Yeah,
grounds.
which feels like another reclaiming of my ability to
Yes.
travel and mentally healthy.
Will
now.
it be like relatively remote out there, or will you be like in an Airbnb?
I'm gonna
or
be
something?
doing. We're staying. So it's for my program, and it'll
Mm-hmm.
be fun. 'Cause one of my friends, I'm close with someone in my program. We're gonna be doing like studies with indigenous populations and looking at like water supply, and because
Wow.
apparently the water supply is like so polluted out there.
Oh, I don't doubt that at
Oh,
all.
yeah. And we're staying at a casino because it's like owned by the
Yes!
tribe. But, yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. And then later in the year, I'm still figuring out, or later in the spring, I'm going to be traveling to do embedded reporting with the scientists, but I'm trying to figure out where that's going to be.
Oh my
So.
God. Hopefully it's somewhere warm,
I
like
know,
the Galapagos.
I know.
That'd be so cool.
So yeah, it's been a big year of travel, but I will say I like being home, you know? Like I like having a routine and being stable
Mm-hmm.
and having, you know, exercising and stuff. So it's been like a lot of travel, almost too much.
Well, you can balance it out. You
Yeah.
have like, as long as you spread out your trips and you're not like traveling every single weekend yet.
Oh,
I mean,
that
once you're a
was-
famous comedian, you might have to.
You know what?
Get
I've
over
thought
it.
about that a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought about that, but how much traveling is required to do. Yeah.
I know.
Though it's
You'll
fun.
be great.
It's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll figure it out.
Yeah. I do, but you know what? A lot of my like in the United States traveling this year has been for comedy, and it's so fun.
Yeah, it
It's-
truly is. You're
it's-
surrounded by comics,
Right.
and you're just having a ball, and
It's like the best, because something
It's
I've
great.
realized is I don't really like traveling places like just to travel.
I know
and
I kind
be
of
a
need
tourist.
a goal or something. Like
I need
an
a reason to
end.
be there.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is why I love comedy, because it's like you get to visit around, but
yeah,
then you
have like one
a
or two
purpose.
shows, and then you can just bop around all day until your
Yeah.
shows happen. I
And-
totally agree. I'm
yeah.
like, oh, I'm here for a reason. Yeah,
Right.
it's so great. Well, what do you want to plug?
I'll plug. So I have a podcast on
Hell
Spotify
yeah.
and iTunes, Two Non-Geminis. My
Yes,
best friend Caroline Twyman.
it's hilarious. It's very
fun,
good.
and we talk about health and wellness and comedy. And then I don't know. I've started taking a little backseat for producing right now, but I have like shows coming up in New York, so you can check out
Hell yeah.
my little website, LuciaWhalen.com.
Yeah, you have to plug it, otherwise you don't
Yeah.
get your money's worth.
Yeah,
and no one will look at it.
I'm paying for Squarespace. God damn it!
$10 a month.
Why am I so afraid to plug it? I'm
Just
paying
plug
for
it. Oh my
Well,
God.
I'm paying for this website that only I
Yeah.
frequent on a daily basis, so I can look at that one picture of myself.
Oh my gosh. No, that's amazing. Yes.
So yeah,
check out-
LuciaWhalen.com.
Love it.
And yeah, it's just all in and all around Chicago,
Amazing.
doing shows and whatnots.
You're doing great. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
on the
for
show.
having me and listening to my story.
Of course, this is great.
I feel like I really released some trauma.
I know. I'm like, I feel for
I feel like
7-year-old Lucia.
I feel like the White Witch of Rose Hall has finally left me.
A Ritz-Carlton ghost. Oh my God, I hate you. Get the fuck out of here.